welcome to Soul Symbols. My name is Shelley. I'm a writer, an astrologer, and a card reader, and I'd like to welcome you to my channel. Happy Saturday or Sunday. This might be posting a day later. I would like to welcome you to my channel. This is the weekly energy card reading. What that is you, the viewer, get to choose from one of 3 tarot or oracle decks, and we'll go through and do a quick spread to see what the general energies will be like for the next 7 days. It does not need to be the week of November 20th through the 27th in order for the messages to resonate. It is what we call a universal reading, so if you come across this video at any time, there might be messages contained for you. So to start off, I just wanted to give a brief preface. I do appreciate everyone checking out my channel. My channel just exceeded the 300 subscriber mark, and I am so grateful. Thank you so much for subscribing. I always, when I started this channel, my intention was to be slow and steady growth and to just be an outlet, a place for people to go. There's so many really wonderful card readers on YouTube, and I was really inspired by that community, and I am just very grateful. I have a small, compared to other channels, we are small, but we are mighty, and I am just so grateful. I never wanted to get huge on YouTube, but I am so thankful for the followers. Everyone is so sweet. I can feel your energy every single time I do these readings, and I just feel like we have like the most wonderful, organic collective following my channel or checking out my videos. Even if you don't subscribe, if you check out my videos, I am very grateful. Now, I am going to look to try to do something special for the 300 milestone. It has been a little bit busy. As you've seen, my videos are coming out like a day later. I'm trying to keep on top of the schedule, but I do have, tarot is not my primary not my primary job. I don't make any income from it, so I care about it immensely. I love doing your readings. It brings me a lot of joy, but it is something that I do in addition to my daily life. So I appreciate your patience as I get these videos out, and of course I make no profit from it, so it is just for the benefit of the energy of all. But before we get started, I did just want to go ahead and throw out a few quick announcements. And actually, I wanted to ask your help with something as well. So the quick announcement is I will be discontinuing the weekly energy card readings starting December 25th. And it is a very heavy thing on my heart to do that, but again, I do have a day job. I do have a life outside of tarot. I am not leaving the tarot community completely. So I am not just disappearing. I just thought that I wanted to give everyone the notice that yes, I won't be doing the weekly energy card readings all the time. I am not going away. I'm not going away. I'm actually hoping that maybe after the new year, I can start to dedicate this channel to doing like fun readings, and definitely if there's any type of theme that you want to see, if there's a reading that you would like to see me do, please go ahead and post it on a comment in any one of my videos. Any one of my videos work. I get notified whenever there's a comment. So if you, also, I do have a email. I have an email address. I'm sorry. I have a separate one for Soul Symbols. I will post that in the description box. If you have feedback or, anything that the channel can do differently in the new year, it's not going to be as frequent, but I am still here. So I do want to, I'm hoping to do more deck reviews. I'm hoping, to give you the resources if you throw cards for yourself to really enjoy this art, because there are so many great readers here on YouTube, but also I feel like every single day I pull cards for myself, and it has been a great solace, with world events, with personal events going on in my life, with loss and relationships, being able to pull cards and just kind of focus on the symbolism. It is I always say it's almost like dream interpretation, looking at it and kind of analyzing how you feel is almost like a mirror of what's coming out on the table, and it's helpful. I always say it's cheaper than therapy. It's cheaper than therapy. But December, the last Saturday of 2021 is December 25th. I believe January 1st is on a Sunday, so it carries over into the new year. So I said, okay, whatever the last Saturday of the year is going to be the last video for the weekly energy card readings. But I'm definitely not going away. I am going to keep this channel active. It's just, it might not be every week. And definitely I care. I value your feedback. I am here for you. And any theme that you want to see, any question that you have, or any reading that you would like me to do, I would be very grateful for suggestions. I will kick out videos as I can on this channel for you, and it would be directed by you, whatever you want to see. So that would be the announcement for the end of this year. One other quick announcement is I do have another channel. I have another channel that's dedicated to environmental discussions, and I am going to be putting a little bit more of my energy towards that in the coming year, just because it's something, it's a topic that equal to spirituality. I've always been really passionate about environmental causes ever since I was young. Seriously, ever since, not even a teenager, younger than that, I've always really cared about the environment. And I just feel like there's a lot of topics in the world that are coming up with that. So I do have a separate channel that I'm going to be putting a little bit more focus on. I'm going to be creating more content for that channel. And actually today I got a chance to be out and about, and I had a wonderful, it was such a great day. I had a wonderful encounter with someone who sells all wool, like all natural fiber coats and jackets and sweaters, and she was such a sweet lady. It was just such, I felt like I had found my tribe by talking to her. She was just so sweet and so stylish too. She was seriously, this lady was like a personal stylist. I was excited to talk to her. But one thing I got, and I know this sounds so weird, but I'm a weirdo. You guys know this from my channel. I'm a weirdo. You know this already. This is not news. One thing that I bought, and I know this sounds so funny, this is a little model alpaca. This is a little model alpaca. And the crazy thing is it has real alpaca wool on it. Look how cute that is, guys. I know I'm such a cheeseball. But you know, it's funny. This is completely organic. It's a wooden skeleton underneath, and then it has real alpaca wool on top of it, and then at the bottom there's a cotton thread that's wrapped around the feet, and it's not glue. If you look, there's little stitches underneath, so it's a completely handmade little guy, and it's so sweet. His little ears are leather. I think that's just the most adorable thing ever. But this little guy, I know I'm cheeseball, but I've been watching a lot of fun channels over on TikTok, and I've been really getting into my environmentalism, and I picked up this guy today. He's an alpaca, and he has raw alpaca wool. If you guys would help me out, he needs a name. You know, every little guy I have, and you know, I like little figurines. I'm a weirdo like that, but this guy needs a name. He has real alpaca wool on him. So if you are so inclined, if you would like to help me name my alpaca, please go ahead and post in the comments. You know, just you know, you can do it. I don't know if there's a way that you can do it anonymously. If you want, if you want to use the same email, I'll post the email for soul symbols. I believe it's soulsymbols@gmail.com. So, oh, I'm sorry, it's soulsymbols.yt. I forgot about that. I'm sorry, soulsymbols.yt as in YouTube @gmail.com. If you want to do it anonymously, go ahead and just send me an email. You don't even have to have any preface. Just say, look, you know, alpaca name, this, and I'll go ahead and I will go ahead and put that, you know what, I'll do a drawing. I'll put it in a bowl. Once I have enough entries, we'll go ahead and put it in a bowl, and in future videos, I will let you know the name, the winner of our alpaca. So I thank you guys for doing that. That might be something fun we can do here on the channel. But all right, guys, enough blabbing. I'm going to go ahead and get started. As always, we've got 3 decks here. I like to keep them in rotation. The first deck is the Anna K Tarot, and on top of it we have a beautiful smoky quartz. The middle deck is the Sun and Moon Tarot by, I believe it's Vanessa Decort, and on top of it we have a beautiful obsidian. It's also known as dragon glass, so if you're a Game of Thrones fan, you know exactly what that is. The last deck we have is the Linestrider Tarot by Siolo Thompson, and on top of it we have a beautiful piece of blue fluorite. It's so dark in here because it's wintertime and the days are short, but the lighting's not doing it justice, but that is the third deck. To clarify, this is a deck I pulled out recently that I haven't used in a while. It is the Angel Abundance cards. I'm probably quoting the name wrong, but check out the description box. All of the names of the authors and the decks that I use. It is angel based, but it gives you wonderful advice. It does seem a little bit more financial or career based, but a lot of the messages are kind of universal. They're not all money based, but some of them are. A majority of them are. And so that we're going to go ahead and clarify the read. And we actually have a really special stone on top of it. This is my Angel Aura Quartz. I thought since it's an angel deck that we're using, I'll go ahead and pull it out. Now, just to let you know, this quartz is not normally seen in my videos. It normally has a home on my nightstand next to my bed. It actually helps me sleep at night. I know that sounds really woo-woo. You know, in your own head, it can almost be a placebo effect. If you believe that it can do what it does, then you know, mind over matter. But, you know, when you're reading cards, energy really does transfer a lot. And the stones on top, I do believe, help to clear that energy. So I am pulling out a personal stone. So this stone is really imbibed with my, you know, my dreams, you know, my dream intuition, I guess you could call it, you know, when I'm sleeping, you know, the energy of when I sleep. So that's really powerful, guys. I'm hoping, you know, all of the energy here for all of my subscribers and viewers, I think is really positive. I don't get worried about cleansing my stones. I don't think we're going to get any bad juju from using it, you know, in a public read or anything like that. But just to let you know, it's a special stone. It's what I sleep next to. So hopefully it'll give us some really good messages. But enough blabbing, I will go ahead and let you choose your deck. If you need more time, please pause the video, and I'll see you in a minute. Okay guys, we are back. I know that was a really long intro. I'm going to move our cards up right next to our alpaca that doesn't have a name, and please check out the intro. I'm going to timestamp it. If you want to contribute to giving our alpaca a name, you know, please go ahead and click the timestamp and check out, you know, how to do that. I'm just going to give this a super quick shuffle. And deck number 1, what's your energy for the week? Anna K. Tarot. Oh, that popped right out. Oh, wow. This is so positive, guys. Okay, end of the week, please. Can I get, oh, thank you. Oh, that tapped. Totally tapped. I was drawn to do this, too. There's a lot of, this deck has a lot of sun and imagery. Energy imagery that came out as like a hybrid of those two. All right, so I'm going to put this back, and let's go ahead and get your Angel Abundance card. Ooh, that popped right out. That's great. All right, excuse me guys, real quick. I'm just going to do something real quick. I'll be right back. Sorry, I forgot I had a candle. I had a candle burning just right across from me, so I'm going to go ahead and blow that out just to be on the safe side. All right, so real quick, guys. Oh wow, this is a beautiful week. This is really gorgeous. Beginning of the week, you got the Page of Rods. You know what I really get from this is that this is like a real exciting kind of energy. It's a real childlike energy. So over the weekend and into Monday, you know what I get is that, I'm kind of looking at this wall and this floor. I think you've been real structured for a long time. It almost like maybe you've been in a routine, or maybe you've just always done things the same way. Maybe it's kind of been the dirge, and you're kind of willing. I get the sense like I'm getting almost like a little bit of an antsy energy. Like you're ready to go out and do new things. You're ready to explore new things. You're ready to see what's outside of your outside of the fence. Is what I'm hearing. And you see how much sun is out there. Now it's funny when I look at the trees. This really does look like a winter skyline. So I really do think that you're probably watching this video at the time it posts. But the other thing that I kind of get is, you notice how he's kind of standing on two boxes there that look like something that you might have in your house or something. I think you really are trying to think out. I think you're excited to think outside the box. The other thing is like, just like if you click on the link for my alpaca story at the beginning of this video, maybe you had some kind of encounter, or maybe you got some kind of exposure to something new that's getting you kind of excited. It's kind of I always think the Page of Rods is kind of like when you get introduced to something new, and it could be a hobby, it can be really anything. It could be a craft or a hobby or something that just kind of piques your interest, and all of a sudden you're like a kid at summer camp. Like you're like excited, like you want to learn everything about it, but but it is really new to you. But the Page of Rods is really, I love it's such a like a little kid energy. And I really like that. And actually you'll see that, inside of the wall it looks very kind of grays and browns and, muted colors. And you're wearing red, which is about passion. And then you'll notice in the outside there's a lot of gold. And as we go through the week, there's a lot of gold in your landscape. So I do think now, if this is not your energy, this could be the energy of a little one. You might have a little one who's really getting excited about something. I know as a parent, sometimes, if you have a little one who has a new favorite TV show, or you just see the spark of interest of something that they're doing is really kind of getting them excited. And of course, you're helping them, because of course in this card, it almost looks like you're separate. You're looking at this little one who's looking off into the distance. This could be someone who's starting some kind of project. Now, if you're watching this at the time the video posts, we are kind of already beginning the season. I don't think this would be like sports or anything, because that usually begins. Sports stuff usually starts at kind of like almost the end of summer, like the end of July is when you start doing trainings and stuff. But I do kind of see, one other way I can kind of read it is we are only kind of 1 week out from Thanksgiving and then the start of the holiday season. So maybe you're really starting to get excited about that. Maybe you're starting to plan projects. But with it being a page, it feels like really like new energy. This doesn't feel like something that you've done before that you're just doing again in a new way. This seems like something entirely new that's really sparking your fire, like really getting you excited, right? Again, like I always think like a kid going to summer camp, like a little one who's learning something for the first time and getting exposed to it. And it just feels like a whole new world, right? Now, by the middle of the week, this is really great, guys. You got the Four of Rods, and underneath it, you got the Sun. And but the root of the energy is the Ten of Rods. Now, this is not bad energy. There's a lot of wands here, which is a lot of fire. And the thing with fire is that you've seen it. Fire can flare up and then it can die down. Sometimes fire can get a little out of control, right? Quicker than you expect. But the thing about the Ten of Rods, so anytime I see cards in a line like this, I think of a flower. I think of a root, a stem, and a bloom, right? The outward expression is the bloom. The stem of how it got there, how that energy got there is the middle card. But the roots of it, like the real, foundation of all this energy is the bottom card. And what you have is you have a major, that's the stem. And a major arcana is big events. Like, I always think of major arcana like the bigger gears of a clock. The bigger, the bigger gears of what's going on at work, going on in the universe. If you read astrology, the bigger transits of what's happening is really fueling what's going on, and it can really propel you forward. But the root is, so the root of it is the 10 of rods. And you see somebody, like, where there's fire, where there's smoke, there's fire, is what I kind of think, right? There might be a lot of fire going on, but I don't think this is bad energy, because what you see is, if you've ever looked at a campfire, there's a lot of smoke, and it almost looks kind of dark at the base of the fire. Where it's igniting is always kind of looks this way, but everything is so bright and luminous above it. So what I'm kind of seeing here is, I hope this makes sense. By the middle of the week, this is taking a lot of energy. Right? It almost feels like too much, but it's, what it is it's, you feel like all systems go. It almost feels like you're doing too much at once, but it's so exciting you can't stop. That's what I'm kind of getting. The other thing I get is that some of what you're interested in might be adding responsibilities. Like, maybe you got a day job, maybe you're a mom or a dad and you got kids to take care of. Maybe you got, secondary jobs or other hobbies that you like to do. And then all of a sudden this new thing comes along and it's like, oh my God, where am I going to make time for this? I don't have time. Oh my God, it might be making you feel a little overwhelmed. I'm going to sneeze. Oh, excuse me. Ow. But that sneeze might even be a confirmation here, guys. But it's almost like you're so excited that you just got to keep going. You don't want to give up this new thing you're doing, right? But with the 10 of Wands, there might be some, if you are interested in taking on this new thing to the level that you're taking it on, you might need to let go of a few other things, or you might have to put a few other projects in the back burner while you're focusing on this, because otherwise you might be working, you might have moments of feeling a little overwhelmed. Again, also, if you are a parent, if it is a little one who's doing something new, you might have that. This might be packing extra things into your schedule, but you're willing to do it because it's just so exciting. I mean, look at the Sun card. Look at that. It's like, it just feels so good. It feels like all systems go. What you're learning about, you're really excited about. It makes you happy. It kind of, I'm hearing glow up is what I'm hearing. I'm hearing you got a glow up. The other thing I kind of get is, I am definitely kind of getting, like, by the middle of the week. One other thing I'm kind of getting here is that you might have, like, daily responsibilities that you have to do. So it might be a situation where you cannot, you don't have the option to put other things aside, other duties aside to do this new thing, but you're doing both. One way I kind of read this is that maybe this new thing is something you really look forward to at the end of the day. The other thing I get is with this Four of Rods, and this is an interesting Four of Rods, you see how there's 4 people there, and they look like they're collaborating or going on a journey. This is a very different Four of Rods, because normally a Four of Rods kind of means, celebrations. It means weddings. It means, graduations or promotions. It's kind of like, can be the 4 pillars of a house, or, 2 people mirroring each other. But here, I kind of get like a collaboration. I get a feeling like, again, if you click on the link from earlier where I talk about the alpaca, I talked to someone today that was really as passionate about organic clothing as I was, and she was very knowledgeable, and she knew things that I didn't know. So here I kind of get this feeling like you're graduating, you're getting to a whole new level is what I'm hearing, and you're meeting other people, you're collaborating. It's almost like you've met your tribe, or you've been exposed to a group that knows a lot about what this new hobby that you're interested in, and it's exciting you. So this really could be anything. This could be gaming at night. This could be videography. Maybe you're creating videos. Maybe you're learning about a new subject, but it makes you really happy. But the thing is, it's a lot of work. It's almost like you might have to leave the dishes dirty in the sink a few days more because you're busy with your friends, or you're busy with new people that you're meeting and talking to. But this is really exciting, guys. The other thing that I kind of get is that if this has nothing to do with hobbies, this could. I'm not getting so much of a work vibe. It could be a work vibe. But with this being kind of a young energy, I'm getting more of a. I am getting more of a like a personal passion kind of vibe here. But by the middle of the week, you are going to have a lot to do. You might feel a little overwhelmed. The other thing is that you might feel like this is kind of taking off in a direction that you weren't expecting, and it's just kind of like going like wildfire is what I'm hearing. Now, by the end of the week, this is interesting. You got the Hierophant, you've got the Two of Pentacles, and you've got the Wheel of Fortune. And we've got another sun. You notice how there's another sun in the Wheel of Fortune. And the Wheel of Fortune is another major. So you've got three majors. It's almost like in the middle of the week, you've got two minors and a major in the middle. By the end of the week, you've got two majors and a minor in the middle. It's almost like the inverse. I really feel like, I'm almost feeling like the figure eight, like the infinity symbol. But so I do feel like there's some major workings going on in your life. By the end of the week, I get the sense, I am almost getting like you're balancing out things that you're doing in your free time with your other daily responsibilities. Because the Hierophant really can represent the status quo. It's almost like, okay, what you're expected to do, your obligations. And then the Two of Pentacles is really a juggling act. And you see this person has like an audience, you're juggling. And the Two of Pentacles is really like, pentacles are things that you value. So of course, you value your day job, you value your family, you value what's important to you is one pentacle, and possibly this new thing that you're doing or whatever it is that's bringing you all this happiness is another really important, something of value to you. But underneath this is great. You've got the Wheel of Fortune and you got it in the upright. And what happens is the Wheel of Fortune talks about good fortune. It talks about good fate. And right now, I think you're on top of the world. What I love about this card is that this is really interesting. You see this kind of invisible figure kind of turning the crank. And sometimes you can be on top of the world and you see how sunny that is. Sometimes you can be falling off and then you go back up again, right? It's a cycle, right? So this could be telling you that there is a cycle going on here. By the end of the week, this might be a little bit of a caution to say, okay, don't keep the balance, right? Don't let either one of the pentacles fall. If you have responsibilities, if you have to maintain the status quo, you got to maintain that. You got to, like plate spinning, you got to kind of keep it in balance. If you do that, then you'll stay on top. The other thing is that sometimes when you have lucky windfalls in life, which always come to us, if you study astrology, that's definitely something that, comes into play. There are cycles of life. In astrology, it's funny, every single time there's a really strong Jupiter transit, which is just like, it is almost like Wheel of Fortune, it's like this windfall of abundance. It usually is immediately followed by a Saturn transit, and Saturn is the taskmaster planet. So it's funny, it's almost like a little bit of a test from the universe, like, okay, are you going to use this abundance wisely? When you get this money, when you get this promotion, are you going to use it in a way that sustains you, or are you going to squander it? Right? So by the end of the week, you might be kind of feeling that way. You might be kind of like, okay, when you clock out from work. The other thing I kind of get is, again, when you have those kind of hobbies that you're really excited about, maybe you play card games or board games and you created a new group, maybe you're playing Dungeons and Dragons with a new group of people and you just have this great chemistry and you can't wait to get out of work to go do the thing you love. It is kind of reminding you that you do have to keep it in balance. it might feel like a juggling act, but you know, with the Wheel of Fortune, you are being blessed with this new abundance, but use it wisely. You know, don't give one thing priority of the other. But it is also saying, you know, don't let other responsibilities dull this happiness either, because this is a beautiful windfall for you. So that's how you're going to kind of feel going into the weekend. And this is really beautiful. Your oracle card, you got declutter, and it's funny, you got yet another globe. I just feel like, I do feel like almost like this figure in the background. You know, I feel like the angels are kind of blessing you right now. But it does say, you'll feel better and more focused if you take time out to clear away any clutter from your living and workspace. Donate what you can donate what you can to help others who may need your items. Be sure to keep your schedule uncluttered as well. That's what I'm really seeing here, guys. I think you have a lot going on, and you might need to kind of prioritize. You might have had a lot of hobbies and then things are picking up at work, or you might be picking up new hobbies and then, you know, work is a consideration, work, home, family, all of the duties that you have to adhere to. So here it's just kind of saying, exactly, this theme is very clear. Kind of streamline what you're doing. You know, look at your schedule and say, okay, oh my gosh, I love getting together, you know, with my group for board gaming, but I probably do have to leave the game right at 10 o'clock because I have to get to sleep, I have to go to work. Make sure that you're not over scheduling yourself, even though it's really exciting. Again, this is in the middle of the week. This feels like real top, you know, I'm walking on the sunshine is what I'm hearing, that song. But, you know, the other thing is that if you are taking on a new hobby and you're really not doing another hobby so much, but you're still committed to that, try to unenroll from the things that you are no longer doing as much, so you can have more time to do what is the priorities for you. But I think by the weekend you're going to have it in good balance. I do think it is going to feel like a little bit of a juggle. I do think that it almost feels like a juggle because you wish that you could take the whole week off to do the fun thing, but you do have other priorities. So you're going to have to juggle it a little bit. It's going to feel like a juggle, but I am really excited for you, pile number one, because that's a lot of fun. That's a lot of fun. And anytime you find something that you're excited about, oh my gosh, that is the best. That is always the best thing ever. All right, so deck number 2, the Sun and Moon Tarot by Vanessa Decort. What is our energy for the week? Let's go ahead and see. Ooh, that popped right out. Ooh, please clarify. Okay. Oh, wow, we're getting this right out. End of the week, please. Wow, that's the second time we've got the Hierophant in the top position. Please clarify the Hierophant. Ooh. Ooh, we got 2 majors there. 2 of Wands, please. Ooh, wow. The Empress really wants to pop out. Okay, we're gonna take it because she kind of, when I cut the deck twice, it cut to her. All right, let's go ahead and see. This one kind of was popping out. All right. So deck number 2, wow, this is really amazing, guys. We've got quite a few majors here. We've got quite a few majors, and we do have a king in play. So at the beginning of the week, we have the 5 of Wands, and the key word, the 5 of Wands usually means competition. It means, you know, and this is really an interesting one because the lighting is not doing it justice, but you kind of see, there we go, that's a little better. You kind of see the 3 sticks at the top and then, you know, 2 sticks crossed at the bottom, and there's a bunch of flames. So it looks like battle. And the keyword says strife. So the Five of Wands really does talk about competition. Because it's a minor, it usually talks about petty competition. It usually means that someone might be being a little, I always kind of think of it as someone being a little bit irritating. Sorry, I'm going to get a sip of tea real quick. Okay, thank you. I usually see the Five of Wands as someone, that's just, it's just kind of like petty competition. I never really, I always refer to the Five of Wands, and I'm sorry if this sounds a little crass, but I always see it as kind of a pissing contest. Like maybe, and this can be family, it can be work related, it could be relationship related, where both of you are just kind of being kind of stubborn. I always see it as kind of like two people of equal energy that are trying to get their way, and then nobody is getting anything. The other thing is, I always think of it as a little bit of the, not underhanded. The person that you're fighting with is being a real above board with what they're doing, but they are equal opponent to you. It's almost like equal and opposite energy, which feels really irritating. It's like when you're trying to you're trying to do what you need to do, but they're doing the same thing opposite, and it's leaving, like it's like it breaks even. The energy breaks even. You're trying to maybe at work you're trying to get something done, and then someone's just coming back and going, well, why do I have to do that? It's kind of like, sometimes it can be two people trying to get one thing done, but they want it done their way, and your way is different from theirs. So that's what I usually see. And underneath, we've got the King of Swords and we've got the Six of Wands. So what I kind of see is I can read that one of two ways. If this is some kind of competition, maybe you're kind of going up against someone, the King of Swords could be your energy. And what it could be is that you're really kind of, you see how he's riding into battle and you've got three crows. And crows are always harbingers of change. They sometimes get a reputation of being a little ominous, if you've ever read Edgar Allan Poe. But crows are actually pretty good signs. It just means that change is coming. They also represent truth. So I do, and you see this he's a king and he's riding in on a white horse with a sword. So what I kind of see here is that if you are battling someone, or if someone's coming up against you kind of in a pissing contest kind of way, like they're just throwing obstacles in your path, if this is your energy, then you're going to cut through that with truth. It's almost like you're just gonna kind of chop that whatever is blocking you out of the way, and you're going to be victorious. It's almost like you're going to take those sticks, and actually it goes from 5 to 6. Oh, look at that. It's almost like you conquer the other person, and then it's like you turn all the wands into candles and do a little happy dance. So this could be, so if this is your energy, that could be it, where someone might be coming at you, but you're slaying the competition. You're just knocking it out. The other thing that I can get is that maybe someone is trying to fly in your face because you've been victorious. Like maybe you were trying to get your point across about something and you thought that you had won. So this can be a digression as well. It can be going from the Six of Wands to the Five of Wands. Like maybe you came in and you thought you were right about something and you said, yes, here's my point. See, look at me, I'm right. Or maybe you actually got recognition for something. Like maybe you were praised as doing something completely right, but then somebody comes in and tries to challenge that, and it seems like a petty challenge. What I almost think of is like, how when you have court cases, when someone has quote unquote won the court case, but then someone else contests it or counters it or says, okay, I want to take this to a higher court. That's, and it's funny, the King of Swords is very much, because he's swords, that's really much a lot into the justice family. It's about truth, it's about justice with the swords suit. So that's what I'm almost kind of getting, guys, is that maybe you thought you were right or victorious with some kind of point or some kind of project, and someone is contesting you, or someone is challenging you, or someone's trying to take it to a higher court. But you notice how with those cases, when someone says, well, what's the word I'm looking for? I haven't said it yet. What is it? When a judge makes a judgment, but then the person that, if it didn't rule in someone's favor and they contest it, that's all I can think of, contest it in court, like they an appeal, there we go, someone files an appeal. um, Either that, or if you feel like maybe you got recognition for something, but someone comes back with an email or something like that and just is arguing with you about it, or trying to say, no, this isn't how it's supposed to be. Now, here, moving to the middle of the week, the main energy is the Two of Wands. So here we have more Wands energy. And this is amazing, guys. Now it looks like there's a wall of fire, right? The Two of Wands is really about a choice. The Two of Wands is like about a choice between two options. So you might have someone appealing something. You might have someone challenging you. You might have thought that you won. The other thing I get is that you really thought this situation out, but by the middle of the week it's going to feel like kind of a choice. And here I'm seeing dominion. This could be an argument with someone. This could be a dispute. It could be a legal dispute with someone. I mean, I'm sorry, I hate to get so heavy with that because this is just weekly energy, guys. So it's not like every week someone's going to have some kind of major court case going on. But what I'm kind of seeing is I definitely feel like you might have felt like you won, but then all of a sudden some kind of retribution or some kind of retaliation. That's kind of what I'm feeling. And it leaves you feeling kind of blocked, the Two of Wands is really about a choice. And the funny thing is, the Two of Wands in the traditional Rider-Waite is, you see someone standing in the turret of a tower, like standing at the top above a castle, like at the top floor of a castle, and he has one rod that is bolted to the wall. So that rod is part of that defense, that rod is that victory, your first stance, your what you thought you won, what you thought you attained is that first rod that's bolted to the wall. The second rod you hold in your hand, and that's a free choice. It's almost like, okay, I've accomplished this. I could just turn and go into an opposite direction. And what I'm kind of seeing here is it's quite possible that you might be fighting with someone, and the option to get away from that is just to go a completely different direction. And that's what you're kind of thinking about in the middle of the week. Now, one thing I'm noticing with this energy, because it says dominion, and dominion is like a kingdom. It's like it could be, if you work in management or something like that, it can be a group, it can be a department, right? If it's home, it could be a choice between dominion can mean a lot of things. Dominion can be your family's religious beliefs versus your spouse's or your girlfriend or a love interest's beliefs. It can be a separate interest in yourself. Like maybe you were raised to believe one thing, and then you're on to say, okay, let me go do something different. Let me try something different. And that's the loose rod, right? It's the rod that you hold in the other hand. Now, one other thing it can be is it can be a choice between jobs, or it can just kind of be a big decision to say, okay, do I want to continue doing this thing, or do I want to try this a different way, try this a different direction? And what's interesting is you got 2 10s under it. You got the 10 of Pentacles, which you see is kind of like this tree with a man and a woman. And then you got the 10 of Wands, which really talks about excess work. And this is a beautiful 10 of Wands because you see someone walking through the desert, but there are stars above, right? But the 10 of Wands is really talking about taking on more than the lion's share. It's almost like if this is a relationship situation, or even if it can be any work, it can be any situation that involves interaction with other people, so it can be work and family. The Ten of Rods really speaks of you exerting extra effort, like if you're exerting extra effort to appease family, you know, like you're working your ass off, but it's still not good enough, but you're doing more than anybody else is doing, right? That's the Ten of Wands energy. So this could be family related. I do think this could be work related, because sometimes the Ten of Wands is, when, especially when I see Dominion, that talks about a workplace. It talks about a place, an environment that is, and again, if you look at the Ten of Pentacles in the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith, that talks about a foundation, like what's the word I'm looking for? I'm not describing this really well. If you really want more information, if you check out my How to Tarot on the Ten of Pentacles, that really goes over all of it, as does the Ten of Wands. But I'm feeling like more of the Ten Pentacles is really the main theme here. But Ten of Pentacles is about a foundation. It's about, it can be a group, it can be a work environment. It can be a work environment that's full of CEOs. And you did have a king right here. Right? So it could be that you have a boss that's expecting a lot of you, and you've been doing this for a while, and you're almost like, okay, I have nowhere else to go. You know, it's either stay and continue this fighting and this oppression, you know, me just working. The other thing I can get is that maybe you've been working really hard in a work environment, or you've been working really hard to appease family. Now, one thing that I noticed with this is that this Ten of Pentacles has two people with like a heart above it. So that really does kind of feel family related. And what kind of seals that impression is underneath we have the Empress. And this Empress is really beautiful because not only is she surrounded by trees, she has a bag of money in her hand. She also has kind of a full tummy. So that could very well, when I see this, this could be a mother. It could be your mother. Maybe you've really been working, maybe you've been working to support your mom or take care of your mom or to help her out. If you're a man watching this, it could quite well be the mother of your child. You don't necessarily have to be married. But, you know, one other way I can read it is if this is your energy, if you are the Empress, it kind of just is making you feel like, you know, like you're putting too much energy into upholding this structure. Like maybe you're putting too much energy into family. Maybe you're putting too much energy. Maybe your spouse is really making you do more than the lion's share. Or, you know, like maybe at work you really have to compete and you have to work, you know. And it's beginning to make you wonder, you know, again, you feel kind of blocked by flames. It's like, okay, is this really getting me anywhere? You know, why? The other thing I get is that maybe you just feel a little stressed out, because I get the sense like by the middle of the week, you're really beginning to wonder if there's something better out there. That's what I'm kind of getting, is there's something better out there. And, you know, and I do get a sense like maybe, you know, maybe you're working extra hard for money or working extra hard. This could be family too. You could be working really hard for family. One other thing that I kind of get from this is maybe you're working really hard and giving all that money over to the mother of your children, or giving that money over to your mom, but they're not doing the work, and you're starting to wonder, okay, how can I start to move away from this? Is there another option for me other than just this, is what I'm kind of getting. And that's no offense to anyone. The other thing I kind of get with the Empress is if this is your energy, you might feel like there's just, again, that you don't have to work that hard to be abundant, because you know you deserve better. That's what I'm kind of getting. You just feel like you deserve better, you know? The other thing I get is that money should kind of come kind of like, the Empress doesn't, she's not lazy, but she's the ruler of queens. She's all four queens combined. So things grow for her very effortlessly. She's abundant naturally. I'm getting more of a, you attract to you versus you needing to chase things or needing to overwork things, right? And I do also get the sense like, maybe you really do deserve more than what you're getting, and you shouldn't have to work as hard as you do for it. And you're really starting to decide, okay, which path is, am I working harder or not, am I working harder, not smarter, is what I'm kind of feeling. Now, by the end of the week, you got the Hierophant, which is the Hierophant really talks about spiritual lessons. He does also talk about the status quo. I think by the end of the week, and this is interesting, guys. You have yet another tree. You have a lot of trees in this. In the middle of the week, you got the Ten of Pentacles with the tree, and the Empress has the two trees. What I'm really drawn to is that she has two trees around her, and then by the end of the week, you have two majors with two trees. And rods are, what are they? They're sticks. They're branches of a tree, right? So I do think that by the end of the week, this is very powerful energy. These are the two most spiritual cards, other than the High Priestess in the deck. But the Hanged Man really talks about inaction. You see how this definitely looks like, it almost looks like the options of your two choices. The Hanged Man is kind of that barren wasteland, and you see that, and you do see stars. There's more stars here, but I think what you're doing is, one choice that you have is to just stay where you're at, continue to work as hard, but you're just going to kind of lean back. You'll continue doing what you're doing. You'll take no action. Like, you're not going to take any action to change anything. You'll continue to do the work that you're doing. You'll continue to, work towards things for right now. But you are thinking about what the better alternative is. You might be praying a little bit. You possibly might be going to church, or the other thing I kind of get with all these trees is that you might be going out into nature to kind of commune with nature and think about how you could do things differently. The other thing that I get with the Hierophant is that I don't think that you're going to be making any changes, but as of this week. But I do think that you are going to be thinking about what changes are available to you, like what you can do differently in the future. And you might be kind of praying to God or praying to your higher power for guidance with that. I do think that you might be reflecting on the fact that as hard as you've been working, what the spiritual answer is to this. Like, what's the reason for all of this hard work? What's the reason for all of this kind of discontent? All of this overexertion. Kind of what the spiritual lesson is in all of that. But I do get a strong sense that you're going to have some kind of communal experience going into the weekend. It could be going to church. It could be you sitting outside in nature and just kind of meditating. And if you pull cards, it might be you pulling cards. But I do think that you're thinking seriously, because the other thing is, with the Hanged Man, you see how there's a few sprouting leaves there, and then the crown of it is the Hierophant. I do think you're really turning within yourself. You haven't decided to make any changes yet, but you are really thinking about it. The other thing I get is that you might be reflecting really hard about your spiritual beliefs and whether or not they're really serving you. Like, and I don't mean that in a strange way. I'm just seeing a lot of family influence. I'm also seeing a lot of workplace influence, because the Hierophant can be the status quo. It can be just going along with what's expected of you, like the structure of things. The Ten of Pentacles and the Hierophant, they're very structured. And sometimes that can be societal expectations, Like, if you're a man and it's like, okay, you're in a good job, you're in a leadership position, even though you're working 60-hour work weeks and you're exhausted and you feel like you have no life, that's what's expected of you. So you might be kind of pulling, you might be kind of taking some non-action time to look at that and say, okay, is it worth it? Is that right? Is that right? Same thing if you're a woman. You could be really deciding, because the other thing about the Empress is she's very nurturing. She's very nurturing. She gives to others, but sometimes, you might be you might be doing a little bit too much. And the other thing is you might be doing it in a way that's exerting, and there might be another way that you can express this energy, a better way to express this energy. But the Hanged Man is about, both of these are very spiritual cards. I feel like by the end of the week, you're really going to be, you're not going to take any action. You're not going to quit your day job, but you really are going to be looking at the situation. The other thing is that if this does involve family, you might be pulling back from the family. Like if you normally go to church with your family, if you normally go over to their house on the weekends, you might stay home and you're not taking any action. You're not like, you're not disowning anyone, but you might really be thinking about the structure and what that means to you, what the message is of that. Now, your card, you have Release Jealousy. And it says jealousy is an affirmation that you don't have something, and the universe manifests exactly as you affirm. Let other people's successes inspire rather than frustrate you. If they can have it, so can you. Oh, wow, guys, this gives me kind of a new perspective of this read. Because in the middle of the week, at the beginning of the week, remember we had some kind of competition, and it looked like someone had won. Look like someone had won. So one other way with that, you might, in the beginning of the week, you might be looking at some kind of, it can be a man or a male or a female, but they're manifesting as a king, as a male. So you might have some kind of competition or someone who's of equal power of you, kind of looking like they won. This person might have looked more intellectual than you, or looked more competent than you in a mental kind of way. Maybe if this is technology related, maybe they did something using computers that just looked better than you. The other thing is maybe they communicated some kind of problem in a more effective way, and it almost makes me feel like maybe you call them out on it, like, okay, why are you crowing like you fixed this? You didn't fix this, and it might have looked petty to that person. But it's not petty. I just feel like that maybe underneath you might feel a little healthy jealousy, a little envy of this person. And that's okay. That's okay. Maybe you felt like, it's funny. We all have those situations where someone does something that's really amazing, but, they might be a peer or a colleague, and it makes you feel less than because they did this, and it makes them look better. You know, One other way I can kind of read it is that if you're a woman watching this could be some kind of man who kind of verbally came out and said something that made them look like the hero. And by the middle of the week, you feel like, oh, wow, they're over there getting all this recognition, all this stability, and I'm just over here just working my butt off. But I do almost get like, the other thing I get is that maybe you're looking at other people and thinking, okay, they don't work as hard as I do, but look at them getting all this victory, and I'm getting nothing, or I'm getting the same old, same soup, different bowl, same stuff, different day. But it's just letting you know that jealousy is an affirmation, that as if you don't have something. And the Empress is the most abundant card, most abundant woman. So this might be telling you to kind of count your blessings. The other thing I get is that if someone else is experiencing, if one of your peers is experiencing a time of recognition, just know that it goes in waves. Some weeks you're the center of attention, other weeks other people get their due too. And it might be just kind of telling you, just keep on working, just keep on working. Let other people's successes inspire you rather than frustrate you. If you see someone doing something, instead of begrudging them their victory, just kind of look at it and be like, okay, don't try to imitate them. Be you. You're the empress. But if they can have that success, so can you, and you can have it in your way. And you might be actually thinking about that by the end of the week. You might be thinking, the other thing I kind of get from this is that that's another way I can see this end of week energy, is that maybe you're looking at all these successes that are occurring around you, in society, in your community, like, and it's in a very structured way, like, oh, okay, well, that person got the promotion, I didn't, or, oh, look at that, look at I'm a mom, and look at that other mom, she's a better mom than I am. If you're kind of looking at it and from a hanged man perspective, like, okay, what am I doing differently from what they're doing? But I don't take this as change your energy. I really take it as just kind of, you're in an uncomfortable position right now, but you are blessed. You have a lot of blessings in your life. So I think these are two majors at the end of the week. I think you really are going to be looking at what's going on around you, and you're going to be trying to decipher how to let other people's successes inspire you rather than frustrate you, and you're not going to take any action. You're just going to see, okay, how can I, what can I do to get the happiness that I feel like I deserve? And if that means, and with the Two of Wands, if that means doing something different, that might be the path. But just don't begrudge anybody their victories, because you're I'm sure those victories were very hard earned as well. But also, you don't have to adhere to the status quo either. Just do your thing. But if you can work smarter, not harder, that's the path you want to take. All right, so deck number 3, the Linestrider Tarot. Let's go ahead and see what's our energy for the week. Wow, I'm gonna go with the top card of each, and you got two aces. Holy fried beans! Need to know anything? Whoa. Middle of the week. Wow, we got two counterparts here. Holy Toledo. Anything else about the Queen of Cups? Wow. End of the week. Please clarify the Chariot. Whoa. We have a lot of duality here, guys. Got a lot of duality. The Fool. Wow. I did see the Fool and the Eight of Pentacles, so we will bear that in mind. Ooh, trying not to drop my Angel Aura Quartz there. Oh, wow. Okay. Wow, this is great, guys. So this is really powerful. Now, first off, I am definitely getting kind of a relationship vibe. Now, as we go through the week, this could pertain to home, family. It can pertain to, friendships, school. It can pertain to anything other than love. But beginning of the week, you saw that you got two aces. You got the Ace of Wands and you got the Ace of Swords, which has a fox and an eagle. And underneath it, we've got the King of Cups. So right off the cuff, guys, if you are a woman watching this, I am really getting a vibe that someone who is a very emotionally dedicated to you, and I do feel like this is like someone who loves you, like an emotionally connected man, is really going to come out and kind of, it's almost like they're making it very clear that they desire you, that they want a passionate start with you, and it's almost like they're going to come out and say it. That's what I kind of get, like the truth of this is coming out, because foxes are usually very stealth and kind of sly, and what I'm kind of seeing is a progression. This passion that this person is kind of kept under wraps is really going to be made apparent at the beginning of the week, and this is someone who's very emotionally loyal to you. Like, this is someone who's very, very dedicated to you. Now, if this is not a love interest, If this is your energy, if you're a man, just to put it out there, if you resonate, it's all energy. If you identify as masculine, or if you're a feminine who's in your masculine energy, because very well this could just be, you can be a woman in a king's energy. All it means is that you're behaving like a king. You're not this is not a receptive. This is more of a yang kind of action oriented. And it's in a very, the king is of cups is still very nurturing, but he does it in a masculine way. He's not, he's still sensitive, he's still emotive, he's still very kind. So this could be, if this is not like a love interest or, boyfriend, or someone who's, kind of coming out and professing this to you, this could be a father figure. It could be someone who, your father might be starting something really new. It could be a new project that he's kind of announcing to everyone. The other thing I kind of get is that if this is a boss, or, some kind of person that's, a boss to you, this person almost feels like a father to you. Like, this person does not, if this is a boss, they don't manage in a normal boss way. Like, they're not typically like real stern, or, like emperor-esque. They understand how you feel, and they say things in a real kind of down-to-earth way. So that's another way I can read it, is that maybe either your father, is like announcing something that he's doing, or he's kind of coming out and speaking some kind of truth about something. It can be some kind of action that they've had kind of on their mind, that they knew they wanted to start, but now they're just coming out and finally saying it. So it's going to be kind of revealed to you that this King of Cups person is doing something new. If it's a boss, this boss could be announcing to the entire department, and this might be like a separate meeting to you saying, look, I'm going to do this. But it could also be news for you, as some kind of new beginning that they have in mind for you. And there's some kind of truth about it. Like, there's a revelation over this fresh new start. And it's funny, this whole week I've been pulling the Ace of Wands a whole lot. And Ace of Wands, actually Ace of Wands in the first no, that was Page of Wands. Sorry, that was Page of Wands. But it's a strong new start. It's like a real fiery start. It's exciting. It's excited. Are you excited? I'm excited. This is very exciting. But it almost feels like it almost to like someone had something on the down low for a reason. They wanted it. The other thing I kind of get is that when this comes out, when this is expressed to you, it's going to be explained, or the disclosure, the memo is going to be given to you in a real emotive way. Like, someone wanted to come out and tell you about this in a way that would be very easy for you to understand and to accept emotionally. So someone almost like a father to you, if this is a boss, they wanted to deliver this in a way that would be very kind to you, and that would make you feel warm and fuzzy and happy. But it is a revelation. It's something that's exciting, and it is a start of something. Now, by the middle of the week, this is amazing. This is kind of carrying over here, guys. We've got the Queen of Cups, and these two are counterparts. These two are counterparts. And underneath it, we have an Emperor. So one way I can kind of read it, in vein of some of a love interest coming forward and really expressing passion to you, you might be real reciprocal, like, like you're feeling this connection to this person. And what I'm almost getting is, you see how, like, the fish, it almost looks like he has his eye going up to her, and you see, like, the jellyfish going up to her cup, right? So I think someone might be expressing, if this is love interest related, like over the weekend and the beginning of the week, someone is really expressing how emotionally dedicated they are to you, and you are reciprocal, but you are kind of almost keeping it quiet. You're keeping it, the Queen of Cups is a mature, feminine, you're receptive, and you're just feeling kind of warm and fuzzy, but you are kind of keeping all that happiness inside. The other way I can kind of read this is, you know how when you're doing really well in your love life, like when you have that emotional connection to someone who really understands you, that really carries over into your work life. Like people can just see that you're emotionally level, that you're emotionally content. It's almost like you have these beautiful secrets inside of you. You cuddled with your sweetie the night before, so the next day you're in a good mood, or you're in this real emotionally balanced mood at work and things like that. So that's what I'm kind of seeing here. It's almost like by the middle of the week in your workplace, maybe your boss is noticing just how emotionally balanced you are, how emotionally happy you are. If this King of Cups and Emperor energy is your boss, so like your boss explains something to you at the beginning of the week, by the middle of the week it's almost like you're on board with it. Like they delivered the message to you and you're good. Now, one way I can kind of read this is that if this is family related, maybe your dad who is real emotionally connected, if you feel a real emotional connection to your dad, they might have delivered some news, and then by the middle of the week, your dad and your mom, this might be a carryover of whatever beginning this is talking about, might be kind of going into the middle of the week. I really get the sense like this is your energy. I feel like someone is really expressing to you, like it's almost like this person's kind of coming forth and admitting kind of emotions that they've kind of kept hidden. And they're expressing it because the sword is like a revelation. But with these being two cups, it's almost like it's not really a big surprise to you. You kind of felt that connection the whole time. But if this is a boss or I'm sorry, a boss or a manager kind of telling you something, they're doing it in a delicate way, and you're just kind of on board with it. Like, you understand it, you're moving forward with it. The other thing I get is that this person might be directing you a little bit further. Like in the beginning of the week, they're delivering the news with kid gloves very delicately. Just they're giving it to you in a very emotionally supportive way. But by the middle of the week, it's almost like, okay, we have to go forward and I have to be a little stricter now. I delivered the initial blow of the news came in a sensitive way, but now we have to get down to business. And you can kind of see the face almost looks kind of the same. And so now by the middle of the week, it's almost like, okay, one other way I can read this is that if this is like a husband, if this is your spouse, they might have a plan for something that they're launching, something new that they need to do. And by the middle of the week, you know about the plan now. By the beginning of the week, middle of the week, you're on board, and this person has to be more emperor-esque. He has to be more like, okay, this is a little bit more controlling because he has to direct you where to go and what to do. And that's but you're on board. The other thing I get is that you're not emotionally upset by any of these changes. I'm hearing go with the flow. You're going with the flow. The other thing is that you might have your manager telling you that you have to do a few things, but you're going with the flow. You're riding the waves. Nothing is emotionally upsetting you very much. Now, this is what's interesting, guys, is by the end of the week, you've got both the Chariot and you've got the Moon. And the Chariot is ruled by the sun sign Cancer, and the Moon is ruled by Pisces. So there's a lot of water in this chart. There's a lot of water in this chart. The other thing I kind of get is that, Pisces are the two fish swimming opposite directions. And you see how you have one fish going that way, one fish going this way. I am kind of drawn by the fish in the jar. That does almost kind of... it's funny, I posted a picture on my Instagram. It does almost feel like a mom, like a mom of a baby, or it could be a pregnant woman, with the Emperor. Emperor can be a father. If you are expecting with someone, it could be, possibly maybe your husband has finally announced that you're pregnant, or announced, to people. And by the middle of the week, this is just for a very few of you. If this message doesn't apply, then don't take it, But, and then by the middle of the week, you're completely on board. You're like one unit, you know, you're like you're two peas in a pod with disclosing this information to everyone, but you definitely, you know, it's almost like you're standing by your person. He's the emperor, you know, he's the father, he's big daddy card there. But by the end of the week, this is interesting. We do have the moon, which can be a little bit of murky emotions, but you have the chariot. And the chariot is about two horses going opposite directions. It's almost like full speed ahead. I am almost getting like, okay, we've started something, and by the end of the week, it's like, okay, we're moving ahead, you know. Even it almost feels like, you know, these two horses are going the same direction. We have the same goal at this point. You know, we've announced it, we're going to do what we're going to do. Now we're going the same direction. You know, this is done. You know, this is happening, right? But underneath the surface there is the moon, you know. And the moon is the domesticated dog and the wild coyote. You know, it's two parallels, right? I really feel like you, by the end of the week, I think you're happy that you're going the same direction as your other person, but underneath the surface, it does make you feel a little uneasy. Like these are two major arcanas. You know, anytime you have major changes in your life, there's always that little voice like, oh my gosh, is this the right thing? Oh my gosh, what am I doing? You know, is this, it makes you feel a little scared. It makes you a little, the moon is really like shifting emotions under the surface. The other thing I get is that you might feel like there's some kind of primal side of you, you know, like underneath the surface, you might have some really raw emotions. And if you are pregnant, then that does that to you, you know, hormones shifting. But then there's this kind of expectation that on the surface that everything's normal, everything's status quo, right? And it's almost like you have to channel those two emotions into the same direction, right? The other thing I get is that if this is work related, you know, you've been told, something changed, you've been notified of it. You've kept your emotions in check. You're going along with what you need to do, what your boss tells you to do. You're going along with it, and it's funny. By the end of the week, you're chugging along. You're all, you know, you're headed straight up forward, but you do have some opposing feelings inside, because that's the one common denominator between the Queen of Cups and all these energies. And there's a lot of water here, guys. There's a lot of water here. Now, it's interesting, if you are watching this at the time the video posts, we will be in the sign of Cancer by the beginning of the week. By the end of the week, it's not going to be in water anymore. By the end of the week, it would be Cancer. We'll be in the Virgo. We'll be in the sign of Virgo. Now, it's interesting, the sign of Virgo does oppose Pisces, so it's quite possible that if you have Pisces in your chart, you might be feeling a little polarized because the moon is opposite you. But you are going to do your best to try to channel. It's almost like you're trying to use that volatile energy inside of yourself to propel yourself forward. You know, they always say in astrology, squares, you know, anytime one energy is squaring another, that's like the friction that gets an engine to go. So that's what I really get from this. It's almost like the churning and uncertain emotions that you're holding under the surface. You're trying not to worry about it. You might feel a little bit lost, but you're just going to keep chugging forward. It's almost like you're going to that murky, that churning energy of the moon, that uncertainty under the surface is just fueling your drive to want to just go forward. Okay, let me just go forward. You know, even if those two horses are going like this and going like this and going like this, at least we're going in a general direction. And that's kind of how you feel by the end of the week. I do almost feel like there's some kind of an announcement here, though, guys. It's almost like you're